James Harden really put this team on his back, okay? CP3 had average or below average contribution. And that's just the real truth. So I'm still going with Harden. That's who I got. NBA Rookie of the Year, I'm going with Doncic. Not only because he's a Dallas Maverick, but because as soon as he stepped in the league, the kid was balling since day one. He still has room to grow as far as his NBA game. He's been a professional since he was 14. More consistent throughout the season. Thank you, Courtney Harden. That's what I was just getting ready to say. Trae Young was balling, though, second half of the season. He was balling the second half of the season. The first half, he was kind of up and down. And breaking news by Kevin of Clutch Talk Sports, putting the article in the chat room. Make sure to click on that. 76ers and Clippers reportedly out of the Kevin Durant sweepstakes due to his Achilles injury. Also, there was another story coming out that most of the teams are out on Kawhi because it's more of a him coming home than him coming to other places. So the Celtics supposedly and the 76ers are out. Kawhi is the most important player, but Giannis will win the award. If Trae had a better December, he would have won it. If he would have had a more consistent year, I think he would have won it. But shout out to both of these guys. What a great state the NBA is in. Okay, if we have our choices and our picks of who we think is going to win this award, but what a great state the NBA is in. We're talking about rookies who dramatically helped their team this year. And Atlanta's going to be nasty next year. Atlanta's going to be nasty next year with this lineup, with DeAndre Hunter, with Cam Reddish, with John Collins, with Trae Young. This team, they may not win a bunch of games, but they're going to be better than what they were last year. And that's what you want. That's what you want as the NBA franchise. You want to be better than what you were last year, and it will definitely be that. All right, so Rookie of the Year, Luka. To me, that wasn't hard. Here's an interesting award right here. Sixth Man of the Year. You got Montrezl Harrell of the Clippers. You got Domantas Sabonis of the Pacers, and then Lou Will of the Clippers. Montrezl Harrell did have a good season. And also when you factor in the way you played in the playoffs, but that's not going to be factored into this award. But you can definitely, Montrezl Harrell has an argument in this, but Lou Will's going to win it. Lou Will is the all-time sixth man. Period. Phone lines are open, 469-351-0881, excuse me. The Hawks GM said since they drafted Luka, their share of the trophy, but y'all can keep it at y'all's house. We definitely keeping that. Okay, that's going to be in American Airlines Arena, or it's going to be at Luka's house, wherever. But it will not be shared. That's not a shared award, okay? That's a Luka Doncic award. I definitely got Lou Will, though, winning that. Montrezl Harrell could have somewhat of an argument, but his is more so, I think, of the playoffs that I seen him play. Defensive Player of the Year, Giannis, Paul George, and Rudy Gobert. I'm going to give this one to Giannis. And I think his defensive play, as well as his offensive play, has definitely been on point. Rudy Gobert, he's already won the award. I believe he won the award last year. I got to salute the Hawks for flipping that trade, and now they have Trae to pair with Reddish. Lou is a baller. Mocha Bella says Lou as well. I don't know, though, who's going to win this award, because I think Rudy Gobert gets a lot of love, and he is a leader in at least top 5 in blocks. Giannis wins MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, I don't see him winning both. I see him winning one or the other, and more than likely that is going to be the Defensive Player of the Year. But a great season by Giannis, no doubt about it. And I think this kid is an amazing part of the future of the NBA. But I'm going to go with Giannis for Defensive Player of the Year. So we got Giannis, Paul George, Rudy Gobert. Most improved Player of the Year. This is a tough one too. De'Aaron Fox, I'm not putting him there. D'Angelo Russell. This is a two-person race, in my opinion. D'Angelo Russell and Siakam. Siakam this year, if he was not on the Raptors team, would they be in the same position? You give a lot of credit to Kawhi, but Siakam was a great second player, improved his game dramatically, learned a lot, and you could give this award, I think, to either one of these guys. Now, D'Angelo Russell was really the leader of the Brooklyn Nets, so I think you have to give it to D'Angelo, but both of these guys had a very improved season. But I'm agreeing with you, Mocha Bella. I think D'Lo should win this award because he was very instrumental in what this team was able to do this year. Brooklyn being counted out, Brooklyn being counted to not even make the playoffs, and they made the playoffs. So first of all, really shout out to Brooklyn. And supposedly they're not in the runnings to sign their own player. I from what I've read and heard, I don't know if they're truly looking to sign D'Lo. I don't know if they're out of it or if they're still involved. They're still in talks, but if I was Brooklyn, I would do everything possible to sign this kid. There's stories of him possibly going to the Lakers, or going back to the Lakers, I should say. And so I'm very interested to see how that goes down. But I think D'Lo's definitely going to win that award for the simple fact that he was the leader of that team. He took whatever criticism that was going his way, and he helped a Brooklyn Nets team make it to the playoffs. So what more can you say there? Coach of the Year. Mike Budenholzer of the Milwaukee Bucks, Michael Malone of the Denver Nuggets, and Doc Rivers of the Clippers. To me, this one's very easy. It's Doc Rivers, hands down. Doc Rivers had a team of a bunch of average guys. And they traded away Tobias Harris at the trade deadline. So they were counted out. He had to coach. To me, this is a Doc Rivers award. If you think about Coach of the Year and what you had to do to get your team, to motivate them, to get them ready night in, night out, obviously having Lou Will is huge, but losing one of your main scorers halfway through the season and you still made the playoffs. And then you gave the Warriors some noise. You punched the Warriors in the mouth game 1 of the NBA playoffs, first round. Should be Doc Rivers, probably goes to Budenholzer. I think I'm going to agree with you, Kev, on that because it's going to go probably to the team that went the furthest. And also the team that has an MVP candidate. Denver Nuggets don't have an MVP candidate. Neither do the Clippers. But the Milwaukee Bucks do have an MVP candidate in Giannis, who's had a great year. I think it should go to Doc Rivers. So put who you think in the chat room. Got the NBA awards going down tonight. The Kawhi Sweepstakes begin. So let's switch over to some other talk from the weekend. Who's your coach of the year? Like I said, mine is Doc Rivers. Supposedly, the UConn Huskies are going to leave the American Athletic Conference and rejoin the Big East. I think that's great. I think that's great for basketball. I think that's where they should be. So the plan is starting in 2020, and then plans for the football team are still to be determined. But I think this is great for UConn basketball. I think this is great for the Big East. I think you can get those UConn, Georgetown matchups. You can get those matchups that should happen. So I'm happy to hear about this. So that's some college basketball news. Also, as we switch over to Major League Baseball, the Dodgers, said Galloway, all my Dodgers fans, the Dodgers are the first team with 3 straight walk-off home runs from rookies. Matt Beatty, Alex Vertigo, and Will Smith. Dodgers are looking good. But this is the thing about the Dodgers that we all have to understand. The regular season is the regular season. The postseason is where they really need these young talent to produce, because they want to win a World Series. I want them to win a World Series. I'm not a Dodgers fan, but I do want them to win a World Series. So I think you do celebrate what happens in the regular season, but also you have bigger aspirations at hand. You have bigger goals at hand. You have bigger things that you want to accomplish. But 100% smell the roses as you go. But every year they look prone to win the World Series. I think they have a wonderful and a great front office. They have great people involved. They have a great farm system. All the pieces are there. All the pieces are there for them to win it all. But shout out to the Dodgers. 3 rookies. 3 straight walk-off home runs. World Series or nothing, said Galloway says. I agree with you 100%. That's what it is. And I think that's a great spot to be in, because you are in it to win it. You want to be successful and win the World Series. You don't want to be a team that ends up losing. That's in a similar spot like my Rangers was at 09, 010, with all eggs in the basket, everything. We were all in to win the World Series. We did every possible move. The only problem with the way we handled that is we did a bad job of trading away our farm system. And when you do that, you have years like what we're in right now. But shout out to the Dodgers. Continue to do their thing. And it is definitely World Series or bust for them. That's 100% correct. Dodgers doing their thing. Also, story coming out, David Ortiz's wife releases a statement saying that he is no longer in ICU. His condition remains good. He's supposed to have a full recovery. So I pray and hope that he gets better, gets back to full strength. And Albert Pujols this weekend played one of his final games. I don't know if he's announced he's retiring after this season or not. There's a lot of speculation that's what he's going to do. But he played a series with the Cardinals this weekend, and this sounds like it's going to be his last season, and which will be his last series. He got a standing ovation, which he deserves it. He was the Cardinals. Him, Yadier Molina, they won that World Series that year against my Rangers. But he 100% deserves all the love that he's going to get. The World Cup is going on right now. The U.S. women's trying to get a win right now over Spain. Shout out to Melvin.